Mr. Lenz here. I'm going to talk to you guys about a type of question that you may see on your Iowa assessments, which are coming up next week. What we're given here is called a box and whisker plot. Probably not a type of graph that you guys are used to seeing, but it is a way to display different kinds of data. In this case, they say 20 students took a test and their scores are represented by the box and whisker plot shown below. Now, of the 20 students, 61 would be the lowest score and 97 would be the highest score. The rest of these scores divide up the students into fourths. So we have that 25% of the students score within each of these segments. And this is how all box and whisker plots are divided up. 76 is then the median, or the student who scored right in the middle. They did better than 50% of their classmates, and they did worse than 50% of their classmates. So we're going to answer a few questions about this. What percentage of students scored between 76 and 88? Well, because we know box and whisker plots always divide these segments up into fourths, that would be 25% of the students. The next question says, how many students scored between 76 and 88? Now that's the same range as before, but this one asks how many students. So we want an actual number of our students. We had 20 students take the test. We know that 25% of them scored between 76 and 88, and 25% of 20 students would just be a fourth, and 20 divided by 4 tells us that 5 students scored between 76 and 88 on their test. The last question says how many students scored between 72 and 88. Well, from 72 all the way up to 88, we see that that represents 50% of our student scores, or half of our students scored between these two values. 50% of our 20 students means that 10 students overall scored between 72 and 88. Mr. Lenz here again, going to talk to you guys about two other types of questions you may see on your Iowa assessments. At Super Sandwiches, so some restaurant, you can select a combo meal that includes one of 3 different types of soup. So you can pick one out of the 3 soups. You can pick 1 out of 5 sandwiches, and you can pick 1 out of 6 different bags of chips. How many combinations, different combinations of meals can you put together? Well, if you have 3 different options for soup, and you have 5 different options for sandwiches, and you have 6 different options for chips, to figure out the number of different combinations you can make, you just multiply the number of different choices you have for each part of your meal. 3 times 5 times 6 tells us that we have 90 different possible meals that we can put together. This next problem is a little bit more difficult, and it's talking about the probability. A lottery bag has 3 green balls, 4 red balls, and 3 yellow balls. What is the probability that I get someone to pull out a green ball and then a red ball? Well, let's draw a quick picture of our bag and exactly what it contains. So in this bag, we have 3 balls that are green. We have 4 that are red. And we have 3 that are yellow. The probability question they ask is, what is the probability that I could get somebody to pull out a green ball and then a red ball? So we're going to split this up into 2. The probability that someone first pulls out a green ball, well, we see that we have 3 green balls and we have 10 different balls that they could possibly choose from. So the probability of pulling out a green ball would be 3 out of 10. Now, assuming that we did pull out that green ball then, we're going to take one of those greens out. Now the probability of them then drawing a red ball, we see that we have 4 red balls, but now we only have 9 different balls within the bag. So the probability of then drawing a red drops to 4/9. Then to figure out your overall probability, we multiply these fractions together, and we see that 12 out of 90 times this will happen. And so that is our probability.